Why, hello, fellow Patriots, and welcome back to the Patriot Dad channel, where we can discuss current events, modern issues, and culture, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today, I'm excited to bring you a reaction to a Sky News report on the progress that President Javier Milei has made in Argentina. But before we get to the Sky News video, a quick reminder about a promotion that we're doing with the Rogue Dermatologist. Patriots, a lot of you have been asking about the Second Amendment acrylic print that sits behind me in all of my videos. The Rogue Dermatologist, Dr. Yuval Bibi, and myself have collaborated to bring you a limited time offer. Head on over to epidermalexpressions.com. Under America's First, go to Constitutional Eye Chart, scroll down to the rolled poster. As you can see, this rolled poster normally retails for $20. Go ahead and add one of those to your cart, go to checkout, enter the code PDPoster, and the first 50 Patriots can claim their own 9x11 rolled poster. Just covers shipping and handling. So follow the link down in the description below and act fast before this deal is over. Make sure you take advantage of this promotion. So, let's get this video pulled up and let's get started, shall we? All right, let's see what Sky News has to bring us today. So again, I'll link it down in the description and in the reference materials, but credit for this video goes to Sky News Australia. So let's see what they've got to say.
Javier Milei has proven to be Argentina's saviour. Before the libertarian leader's ascension to the top job, Argentina was battling through record high inflation, widespread poverty, and depleted morale.
All of which you could say was a direct result of, I believe, 80 some odd years of socialism and communism. So if you want some of that they just talked about, make sure that you elect somebody that will bring you socialism and communism. If you don't want those things, let's elect somebody that won't.
And although these issues persist, in his short time in power, Milei has breathed new life into the struggling South American country, beginning to rebuild its economy and renewing hope in the process. Sky News All-Stars Rita Panahi, Paul Murray and Rowan Dean take a deep dive into Argentina's renewal.
So again, credit to Sky News for this report. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for bringing us this update on Milei. Let's keep going.
Argentinian President Javier Milei stormed into power and has been kicking goals ever since. From his dire warning at the start,
Si un país carece de reputación, como lamentablemente es el caso de Argentina, los empresarios no invertirán hasta que vean el ajuste fiscal, haciendo que el mismo sea recesivo. En tercer lugar, y no por ello menos importante, para hacer gradualismo es necesario que haya financiamiento. Y lamentablemente, tengo que decírselos de nuevo.
Ooh. See, that's something that they really need to talk about here in our country. He was finally able to admit to the public that there was no money for Argentina. But when are our leaders going to admit that there's no money left here in the United States? We've just been printing it like it doesn't matter. But when you're over $30 trillion in debt, is there any money left to give out to people for all of these programs? No, there isn't.
No hay plata. Por ende, la conclusión es que no hay alternativa al ajuste y no hay alternativa al shock. Naturalmente, eso impactará de modo negativo sobre el nivel de actividad, el empleo, los salarios reales, la cantidad de pobres e indigentes.
to posting 2 consecutive surpluses mere months into his presidency.
Which is a crazy adjustment, right? He was honest with them. He said, look, I get it. This is going to be sudden. This is going to be painful and it's going to hurt. You know, when you have 80 some odd years of socialism and communism, undoing that and to undo it quickly, it's going to be painful. And guess what? Here in the United States, it's going to be the same way. There's going to be a lot of really angry people. They're going to say, but what about the Social Security you promised me? What about the Medicare you promised me? What about this and that you promised me? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? With over $30 trillion in debt, it probably isn't going to be there. It's better to rip that Band-Aid off now and start fixing it than it is to keep going and get further and further in debt. That is all.
Milei is proving his sweeping reforms are working, according to Sky News contributor Dr. Rocco Leocono.
Look, from talking to my cousins in Argentina, look, their only concern, and I think Milei's only concern, is to ensure that he does the job for them to pull Argentina out of the mire that it is in and give it the prescription that it needs. Look, in terms of international politics, I mean, within days of him assuming the presidency, he told the Chinese to stick their Belt and Road Initiative, which is the biggest in all of the Americas, where they could fit it. The focus is on getting the job done. A bit like Giorgia Meloni. I mean, remember when she was elected Prime Minister, there were the meltdowns from the left and she was a fascist and the sky was going to fall in. But look, she's been focused on the job. The ratings agencies have given her a big tick. The polls are better for her than they were when she was elected. And I think Javier Milei will do exactly the same thing.
The economic libertarian explained he reached such a milestone by dramatically cutting wasteful bureaucracy.
De hecho, en lo que va de nuestra corta gestión, hemos echado más de 50.000 empleados públicos.
They laid off 50,000 public employees. Now, when you look at it compared to the size of the U.S. government and its number of federal employees, we have way more that need to go. Look at all these three-letter agencies. What are they actually doing for you, the freedom-loving American? Are they helping you? If they're not helping you, they just need to go. We could save a lot of money. A lot of pension plans and everything else that we wouldn't have to fund. It's a nice place to start, but all these free handout programs also got to go.
Buttato fuori più di 50.000 impiegati pubblici, vi sono più di 10.000 contratti che non sono stati rinnovati, vi sono 200.000 programmi sociali che erano portati avanti in modo irregolare e li abbiamo licenziati e abbiamo abbassato del 98% i bonifici, i trasferimenti discrezionali alle province.
Llevamos a cero la obra pública porque
Per quanto
consideramos que
riguarda
es
le opere pubbliche, noi
una maquinaria
riteniamo
de
che
generar corrupción.
And never one to shy away from confrontation, Milei even took the drastic step of firing one of his senior cabinet members live on television.
Pero no solo eso, además al secretario de Trabajo, digamos, lo he despedido.
¿Cuándo lo despidió?
En este momento lo están notificando.
¿A Yacine?
El secretario de Trabajo. Digamos, por este error. Este es un error que no debería haber cometido. Porque además, esto fue aclarado en el mes de enero, donde el consenso de todos los ministros era que nosotros tenemos que quedar con los sueldos congelados.
But not everyone is on board with Milei's approach.
That man is a savage. I got to find that video clip. Maybe we'll react to that on a different date. But firing a minister live on television, I'm here for it. We need to start doing that here live on TV. That would be wonderful.
The president delivered a stern State of the Union style address to Congress recently, warning he will push on with reforms with or without their support.
No negociamos el cambio y vamos a cumplir la promesa que le hicimos a la sociedad con o sin el apoyo de la dirigencia política. Lo haremos con las herramientas que nos puedan brindar o lo haremos únicamente con los resortes legales del Poder Ejecutivo como venimos haciendo hasta ahora. Porque nosotros, cuando nos encontramos con un obstáculo, no vamos a dar marcha atrás, vamos a seguir acelerando.
Real quick, I won't change back to the screen because I want to point out, look at the faces on the people sitting behind him. They do not seem happy.
Despite this Trump-style brashness, Milei has been able to maintain high approval ratings with voters due to his relatability, says Sky News All-Star Rita Panicky and her guest, Webster University Assistant Professor Ralph Scholenhammer.
What's also interesting is that comment that he's maintaining his popularity with the voting base, but not necessarily with the people in government. That sounds very familiar to somebody who's running for election here in the States, doesn't it? Popular with the people, but not popular with those in the entrenched political class? Maybe that's because the people in the entrenched political class are benefiting. Well, they're not benefiting in Argentina as much anymore, so good job, Javier.
Now let's talk about the man they call the Argentinian Trump. President Javier Milei has been in the job only a couple of months, but he's taking some bold action to fix what has gone from, well, Argentina's gone from being one of the wealthiest nations to an absolute economic basket case with inflation running at 250%. And now, incredibly, Ralph, there are reports that he has just overseen the nation's first monthly budget surplus in over a decade.
Holy cow. It's hard enough paying my bills here in the States when inflation was at I think the announced inflation was 9 to 11% over the last few years at its peak. But we all know that that number is underreported. It's probably more like 15 to 20%, but 250%, compounded annually, that number is so outrageously big. I don't think we can even wrap our head around it here in the United States. 10 to 20% was bad enough, man. I don't want to go down the road of socialism if it means 250% inflation. Are you out of your mind? That's crazy.
And I think I've got an idea how he did it. Do you remember this?
Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología.
Oh man, he's just ripping these job titles off the wall and it's nope, you're out. This part of the bureaucracy, you're out. This is a man after my heart. We need somebody to do that here in the United States. Badly.
Ralph, how do you judge Javier Milei's performance thus far? I know it's very early days.
No, but you have to kind of admit there's a certain delicious irony that about 40 years after the Argentinians lost the Falkland Wars against Margaret Thatcher's Britain, they basically got now their own Margaret Thatcher. I mean, they do share a certain hairstyle together, so that's probably one of the many things that they share in common. No, I think he means it. I mean, this was always, we have one big disappointment in Europe, I believe, that's Giorgia Meloni, where the expectations were high, and then we have Javier Milei in Argentina, and he seems to mean it. And he combines something that I find particularly intriguing. He goes directly to the people. That is a very shrewd strategy. And we see even the demonstrations against him, by public unions, there are demonstrations, but they are very careful. So his approval ratings, his popularity with the people is still very high. If he can keep that up, right? If he can continue to communicate to the people that these reforms are going to be hard, but ultimately they're going to pay off, he might really be successful. So if he combines the revolution.
Real quick, I think it's interesting that he points out that the unions were against him, but that he's maintaining his support among the people. I thought the whole point of unions was supposed to support the people. I thought the same thing for a while, but look at the teachers' unions here in the United States. Are they there for the students? Not really anymore. They're there for themselves. Just like these other government unions, they're there for themselves. They no longer serve the purpose they originally served. They need to go. They need to go. Public employee unions really, really just need to go.
And the reformer, kind of the revolutionary that got into power that now transforms into the reformer. I mean, that would be great. A strong Argentina, an Argentina that so openly said they want to be on the side of the West, they want to be pro-Western, they want to be with us versus China, versus Russia. I think that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I really hope that he can keep it up and that he will be successful in the end. The first signs seem to indicate that he will be. Inflation is still a problem, but these things take some time. I mean, this is going to be a painful medicine that he has to administer, but I hope that ultimately it's going to pay off.
Sky News All-Star Rowan Dean agrees, revealing Javier Milei flew commercial and embraced passengers on a recent flight.
Someone who's against woke is someone we've talked about here a lot, Javier Milei, the president of Argentina. Have a look at him. While Albo is travelling up the pointy end of the plane, and when he goes in his Commonwealth car, he can't use the phone. Javier Milei, who's a true conservative hero, this is how a conservative behaves. Have a look.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, it's wonderful, but it's crazy. Like, you would never see politicians in the United States flying coach on a commercial airplane. At least not liberal politicians, especially at the level of president. Like, that's so impressive to me that he would just walk onto a plane and shake people's hands. Even if you vetted everybody on that flight ahead of time, the fact that he's willing to mingle and rub elbows with common people, it's a huge plus. That's a huge plus for me. Keep it up, Javier. And viva la libertad, carajo.
There you go. A true conservative hero, Javier Milei.
An extremist, if you listen to the Western media. Right-wing, reactionary extremist that tried to say he's a fascist. I mean, the characterization of this man as some sort of...
Interesting. The Western media calls him a fascist also. Who else do they call a fascist? And does that word even mean anything anymore? That's like we just call everybody a Nazi nowadays. Like, it's losing its meaning. Everybody's a racist. Everybody's a fascist. Everybody's a Nazi. Like, it's just, you just don't agree with them. But that's just ridiculous. You're making these words that used to actually mean something meaningless. And maybe that's your goal.
Nazi, and where does he go? He goes to the Western Wall, and
yeah.
You know, he's
and he's going to tear down all the bureaucracies.
Often referred to as the Argentinian Trump, Javier Milei was giddy at the opportunity to meet his idol, embracing the US presidential candidate, says Sky News All-Star Paul Murray.
Now, finally, I want to talk about America and American politics here because on the weekend, the CPAC convention took place. This is the most MAGA of MAGA events where, among other things, President of Argentina got to hug the potential future and beloved former president of America. Have a look at this for an outsider's wet dream. Have a look.
President! Well, to meet you. It's a very big pleasure to know you. It's an honor for me. Thank you for the work for me. I'm very happy. You are very generous to me. Thank you very much. It's a very big pleasure. You are doing a great job.
Wow. I've actually not seen that video. I know that I've had people recommend that I react to that video, and maybe I should. It seemed to be a very short clip, but you know what? The excited and genuine happiness that Javier Milei showed there meeting President Trump just shows you that he appears to be an overall great guy. Like, he was just excited to meet the man. That was an interesting reaction because it was like watching somebody meet their idol. It was interesting. But they're also very similar in their approaches to governance.
He looks so comfortable, doesn't he, as he's being... I'm not a hugger. I'm Trump. I'm not a hugger. But anyway, an Argentinian cuddle came his way.
Oh man, that was a really good video put together by the Sky News Australia team. Thank you very much for putting in the hard work to compile those video clips and to bring that discussion to us. Please, I hope that you don't try and take down my video. I hope that my commentary added something there for you. Thank you to those of you that made it to the end of this video. I greatly appreciate your support. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more videos like this one, please make sure to click the little bell icon when you subscribe and click all notifications so that you can be notified when I upload additional content. Share this video with friends and family to get the message out and show your support for Javier Milei and former and soon to be again President Trump. If you have any recommendations for a video topic or reaction that you'd like to see on this channel, please make sure to leave a comment, as most of the videos on this channel come from reactions from audience members just like you. Thank you very much for all of the recommendations that you've made. Makes my job a lot easier. I hope you all have a great week. Take care of yourselves. God bless, and bye for now. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.